And welcome back, everyone, here to Live Now from Fox, as we are going to be now taking you out to Arizona. This is Governor Katie Hobbs saying, with the stroke of my pen, the 1864 abortion ban is about to officially become a thing of the past. And if you take a live look right here, she has just signed that repeal bill. But we want to show you the comments that were made right before. Let's go to it here on Live Now from Fox.
Almost a month ago, I stood in this very room detailing the dangers of the Arizona Supreme Court's decision to uphold the 1864 total abortion ban. In the weeks since, we've seen women and healthcare providers suffer from the chaos and confusion caused by this ruling. I've heard from doctors who were unsure if they would wind up in a jail cell for simply doing their job. Women who told me they didn't know if it was safe to start a family here in Arizona. These excruciating conversations are exactly why I have made one thing clear, very clear. This ban needs to be repealed. I said it in 2022 when Roe was overturned, and I've said it again and again as governor. But as they have for 160 years, extreme politicians came up with every excuse imaginable to maintain this draconian ban. A ban that was passed by 27 men before Arizona was even a state. A time when America was at war over the right to own slaves. A time before women could even vote. Today, we are doing what 23 governors and 55 legislatures refused to do, and I'm so proud to be the ones that got this job done. And while I'm proud to sign this bill and provide a moment of relief for Arizonans, we still have work to do. Arizona women are still governed by a ban that leaves no exceptions for rape or incest, nor does it account for complications during pregnancy. We do not have guarantees that the basic right to contraception or access to IVF are protected, even as threats mount. Today, we should not rest, but we should recommit to protecting women's bodily autonomy, their ability to make their own healthcare decisions, and the ability to control their lives. Let me be clear. I will do everything in my power to protect our reproductive freedoms, because I trust women to make the decisions that are best for them. And I know that politicians do not belong in the doctor's office. I know how hard these conversations can be. I've lived them myself, and I know there's no place for the government in that room. I trust that when it comes to these very personal decisions, that you and your loved ones know what is best. I want to thank the legislators and the reproductive freedom advocates who are standing here with me today. Without you, this would not have been possible. And thank you to every Arizonan who spoke up and made their voice heard, calling for a repeal of this draconian ban. With that, I'm going to hand it off to Senator Hernandez. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Governor Hobbs, and thank you, everyone, for joining us. Today we are here to celebrate the signing and the passage of HB 2677, which is the repeal of the 1864 total ban on abortion. It is not the ban that was passed in 1977 by a Democratic governor. It was passed in 1864 before Arizona was a state. My heart is so full knowing that this moment was made possible by the community's work, advocates, giants in the movement, and we stand on their shoulders today because of the work that they laid before us. I'm also very, very full. My heart is also very, very full knowing that my Democratic colleagues continued unity, and we stayed together, and we stayed firm in our commitment to lead Arizona in a responsible way and deliver the solutions that Arizonans were expecting for us. But what this moment has also shown us is that one thing is very clear. Our rights are not protected unless they are enshrined in the Arizona State Constitution. This repeal will go into effect 90 days after sine die, which means that our fight for a better collective future is just beginning. The Republican leadership in Arizona has shown that they are unwavering in their desire to strip us of our rights, our voices, and our votes. Yesterday, on the Senate floor, we heard directly from my Republican colleagues that they believe that this 1864 ban on abortion is the right law for Arizona and that we should uphold that. We have no time to let our guard down. Our state has lived under their constant lack of accountability and transparency for far too long. The fight for abortion rights has simply put a bright spotlight on how corrupt they have truly become. Our ability to celebrate this moment goes hand in hand with the reality that repealing this ban today does not mean we are safe tomorrow. Tomorrow, we could see the majority party bring forward a motion that would cut the 15-week ban down to 9 weeks or even 6 weeks. Arizonans cannot trust this body to follow the will of the majority of Arizona voters. But I hope that the next generation of leaders that will be born out of this moment and out of this fight, the young people in this state that have seen the Trump-stacked U.S. Supreme Court and the Ducey-backed and stacked Arizona Supreme Court take this movement even further. Young people know that Republicans cannot be trusted to uphold our rights. They do not trust you to make the best decision for you and your family and with your medical provider. They have shown that time and time again. They do not trust you to make the best decision for you and your family. Us, the Democrats, are committed to protecting every Arizonan's right to decide what their future looks like. And we will continue to fight like hell to make sure that politicians and government stay out of those decisions. Thank you so much. I'm so honored to bring up Representative Stephanie Stahl-Hamilton, that has been nothing but a warrior for every single person and all of us every day.
Thank you, Senator. Thank you, Governor. Thank you all for being here. This is a real moment. It's an historic moment. And it's a place and time where three moments all come together. It's a time where we are doing away with what is in the past that doesn't fit the present. And here we are in the present, looking forward to the future. The ways in which we need to continue to push and to move our state so that it meets the needs and the desires of the people of Arizona. I am grateful to have been just one person in these moments shepherding or trying to shepherd a bill through the legislative process. None of us arrived at this moment without the foresight and the hard work of people like former Representative Athena Salmon, who truly paved the way for today. I am so grateful for the unwavering, steadfast support of my Democratic colleagues who, in the midst of the storm, when we wanted to call points of order, when we wanted to correct the record, were steady. They were grounded and solid, knowing that all we needed to do was to show up and vote yes. The rest of it would take care of itself. And boy, howdy, did it. So thank you all for being here. Thank you for helping us mark this point in time where history is changing in Arizona. And thank you all for being a part of the journey. Have a good day.
Hold on.
Oh, hold on.
And Governor Hobbs, with that, has said that this is just the beginning of a fight to protect reproductive health care in Arizona, but the repeal may not take effect until 90 days after the end of the legislative session in June or July. Abortion rights advocates hope a court will step in to prevent that outcome. And the effort to repeal the long dormant law, which bans all abortions except those done to save a patient's life, won final legislative approval just this past Wednesday in a 16-14 vote of the Senate, as 2 GOP lawmakers joined with Democrats. The vote extended for hours as senators described their motivations in personal, emotional, and even biblical terms, including graphic descriptions of abortion procedures and amplified audio recordings of a heartbeat, along with warnings against the dangers of legislating religious beliefs. And now we want to listen to Governor Katie Hobbs take some questions from the media.
There's going to be a period of time before this takes effect when the other law is already in effect, and that means there's going to be a near total abortion ban in this state. What would you say to me?
Well, part of that is the reason that we set up reproductivehealth.az.gov to provide as much information as possible for Arizonans about what care is available, what care is legal, where they can get that care. But it's also why I'm going to fight as hard as I can to make sure that this ban never goes into effect. Yesterday, Planned Parenthood filed a motion with the Supreme Court to continue to stay, or some other legal word that's probably not the correct one, but to make sure that this ban doesn't go into effect, because the level of chaos and confusion that will occur from multiple bans at different times, and just we know how terrible this ban will be, and so we're going to do everything possible to make sure it doesn't go into effect.
All right, Howie.
So I've got a question for actually the three of you, which is, this was the initiative, and I know you signed the initiative. It was one thing when the choice was going to be between basically 0 weeks and viability and whatever else it includes there. If we have a 15-week law, there are a number of Arizonans who believe 15 weeks is appropriate. In fact, 95% of all abortions are performed within the first 15 weeks. So how do you explain to people who may be comfortable with 15 weeks why they should go ahead and then still vote for the initiative?
You know, whether it's a ban that was passed in 1864 or a ban that was passed in 2022, these bans are both draconian. The 15-week ban has no exception for rape or incest or regard for the complications of pregnancy, and Arizonans are going to have a chance to have their say in that. But I think the experience that we just went through the few weeks since the court ruling is exactly why we should not have government involved in these decisions at all.
Yeah, Howie, I mean, I think I've said this before. I know I have, that these are arbitrary numbers. Picking a 15-week or a 6-week, that's all arbitrary. You cannot dictate and you cannot pinpoint when a complication in pregnancy is going to happen. And that's why it is so important to get politicians out, get government out, and let that choice and that decision be between the person and their medical provider. Sí, gracias. Sí, es muy importante que la gente sepa que en este momento
And the governor, they're signing that repeal bill into law, and now we will wait to see what the next steps will be. Of course, we know about that 90-day holding period as well after the legislative session. So we'll be keeping an eye on Arizona. Of course, it has become a national issue, and really Arizona was in the spotlight for that Civil War era of nearly all abortion ban.